Welcome to day 1 of How to Get a Girl in 30 Days. Now I know what you're thinking, Chloe, why is there a list behind you if this is a how-to tutorial? Well, young Deadeye, we need to see if you're eligible for the job first. So day 1 calls for self-assessment. Very shortly, we'll have a little meander through signs you're ready for a relationship. But first of all, I created a checklist. Behind me is a list of questions, which you must answer yes or no to. For any of the girls watching, I would say screenshot and send to your potential mans, but hot girl summer is fast approaching, so why are you thinking about boys? Keep scrolling. I'm going to move my fat head out of the way now so you can screenshot. Got it? Good. If you're of the male species, please go away and answer those. All will be revealed at the end of the video. I hope you've answered those questions because you're not allowed to change your answers after this. Because this here is signs you're ready for a relationship. Okay, let's go. Number 1, I've named the checkmate checklist. And what this refers to is the oddly specific checklist for your ideal partner. Obviously everybody has preferences, but if you're choosing to date people on surface level things by purely what they look like, the relationship will probably be surface level too. So if you've tossed that in the bin, 1 point to Gryffindor. Number 2 is the infamous cup. Right now, at this moment, how full is yours? Because if it's not full and you're not happy on your own, then you're not ready for a relationship. But if it is... Number 3, we've named Wonder Woman. It goes hand in hand with the full cup. You shouldn't be getting in a relationship for someone to come and save you. So if you've not yet dealt with your mummy issues, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. Because your future girlfriend should not become your part-time mum. So if you've got your shit together, green flag. Number 4, guess who? Not the board game. What I mean is, if you're past the point of questioning things and comparing every girl to your ex, it's another green flag. Speaking of exes, that door, or doors, should be well and truly locked and chained up. You're not a fucking boomerang, and they're an ex for a reason. So if you are in fact emotionally available and not looking for a temporary victim, congratulations, you're in the top 1% of males. Last but not least is greener grass. J. Cole, love yours, says it all. There's always going to be someone prettier out there. It's just a fact of life. So if you're comfortable getting into a relationship knowing that, and you're choosing this person, not because it's temporary and you could do better, but because you couldn't imagine doing life with anyone else, then you have passed and are ready for day 2. But let's not forget about this. If you answered no to any of the following, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. It's with utter regret that I have to inform you of this. You've still got more groundwork to do. But don't worry, you're not leaving empty-handed. You've now got the opportunity to deal with your mummy issues and go get the closure with your ex that you so desperately need. This is day 2 of How to Get a Girl in 30 Days. Apologies for making you wait 24 hours for this one. I had to find a way to afford the rent that's due for me being on your For You page 24/7. Similar to day 1, day 2 calls for some more deep diving. Before you get your hopes up, not into the vagina. Because what I'm not about to do is help an army of lads inflict trauma on unsuspecting females just because they didn't know who they were on their ones first. So today you're getting intimate with yourself and your dominant forearm is about to be aching a hell of a lot. Obviously from all the notes you're going to be taking. I feel like the pro-con list might be quite difficult for some of you, seeing as a lot of you fail to believe you have any weaknesses. And I know it's going to be a humbling experience, but take note of some of the things that you're good at and not good at. Because in my opinion, there is no bigger turn-off than a guy that insists he's good at something but is still failing on the 5th try. You're going to need to know what those weaknesses are because they're getting put into practice in day 10. The bucket list is fairly straightforward. Fun things you want to do, places you want to go, experiences you want to have before you get tied down. This is a good one because if there's things that you do want to still do before you get tied down, you now know what they are and you can do them. And that's going to mean there's no resentment that pops up in the future for her holding you back. And if it's shit you can do together, future date ideas sorted. I titled this next one self-interview because it's the question you get asked on every job interview that no one ever knows the answer to on the spot. So tell me, what do you like to do in your spare time? Interesting. And what gets you up in the morning? Answering these will tell you what your purpose is and will let you know if you need to get more hobbies. Because fun fact, a guy with interests and ambitions is also attractive to a girl. On the topic of ambitions, goal getter is literally you identifying your short-term and long-term goals. I feel like this is just good for you to know anyway, but girls are planners, and if they're into you, they're going to want to plan their future with you. So you need to know what that looks like to know if it aligns with hers. For example, say she wants to move abroad and you don't. How's that working out long term? Number 5, I've put down values. You need to know who you are and have a backbone, because girls don't like a yes man. And equally, she could be the prettiest girl in the world, but if your values don't align, what are you doing? I don't give a fuck. You're not compromising on it. And if I find out you have, I will find you. And I will go Liam Neeson on your ass. Just kidding, I probably won't. The last one is the 3 tests. I feel like most girls would secretly want to know your answers to these because it says a lot about you. The first one is the love language test. It shows how you want to be loved and how you give love. The second is an Enneagram test. This tells you about your personality and how you deal in times of stress and fear, and will tell you the personality traits of the person best for you. And the attachment style test. If you're not a pussy, post your results in the comments. Things are heating up as we tackle how to find your dream girl. Let the wood see the pecker. Single man, reveal yourself. Just kidding, please don't. That would be considered public indecency. But Paddy McGuinness, if you're seeing this, I'm coming for your title, mate. I feel like I need to put my glasses on for this one because I'm schooling you with the who, what, where, when. Forgetting the why though, because if you've done day 1 and day 2, you should already fucking know that. I digress. Who lets the dogs out? Who? If you've progressed this far, you should have a really good understanding of who you are by now. But if your perfect match was in a room of several people, would you know who they were? If the answer was no, which it probably is, you need to get specific, babes. The more specific you get about who your dream girl is and like the characteristics she has, just watch how much more you notice those types of people in your life. And that, my friends, is called manifestation. Backstory, I got asked to go on a dating show one time, and one of the questions they asked was to describe your ideal guy. Tell me why, not even 24 hours after I wrote that down, a guy to that exact description practically fell into my lap. It very much could have been coincidence, but I'm choosing to view it as factual evidence to support my hypothesis that manifestation does in fact work. Okay, so now you've got to ask yourself, what makes her your dream girl? What does she do for work? What does she do in her free time? What are her values? What are her beliefs? There is so much power in knowing what you want because not only does it make you assertive, but also it makes it 10 times easier to spot the people you're not going to vibe with. So you know who she is and what she's about. So where do you find them? I guarantee most of the things you put down for what are interests that you have yourself. Because naturally you're going to want to have shared interests, right? So to find them, all you have to do is lean into yourself more. Now you know what your shared interests are, you can start casting your nets into that very niche, particular pool. Online dating apps, you can, but I'd advise against it. More time, there's low value females that aren't looking for anything serious. And in my opinion, you gotta work smarter, not harder. Now with fishing, to get a good catch, we all know timing is everything. Same applies. Switch up the timings of the places you go into, because each time you're going to find a different kettle of fish. Stay tuned, because next up I'm going to teach you what bait to use and how to reel them in. Tomorrow, 8 PM, Bass Pro Shops. See you there. So there's a girl you like, but you'd rather shit in your hands and clap than go and approach her. If that sounds about right, let me help you out. The following steps on the list I've devised have in fact been put in place for a situation where you are in walking distance of a girl, so please bear in mind the fact that you will have to remove yourself from the PlayStation in order to make this work. I won't lie, a lot of guys fall at the first hurdle. Some of you can be so oblivious you may as well have a white cane. You're gonna have to get your Nancy Drew on and assess the situation. If she's busy or she's in a group setting, it's a no-go. And if she's got earphones in, that is universal code for fuck off and leave me alone. How some of you see all of the above and still think it's acceptable to go ask for a snap is actually beyond me. But more to the point, if you're a male in your mid-20s and you still have Snapchat, are you actually okay? Like, for real, are you actually okay? Instead, make mental notes of the environment she's in and what she's doing well, so you actually have a decent conversation starter. Lock-eye wars is one of my favourite pastimes. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know girls flirt by simply looking at you. Seeing as you're naturally competitive, this is going to be a fun little game for you. If you see her looking at you from across the room, you best be the first person to look away. But not instantly. You kind of have to hold it there for a couple of seconds and do this little side smile thing, and that's, oh my god, pregnancy. You could be mid, and I guarantee you do this, she's going to be having dreams about you. As I mentioned earlier, those mental notes are crucial for the conversation starters. The last thing a girl wants is for you to come over uninvited and go all Liam Payne on her mid-sentence. If she's carrying a personal item with her, the best thing you can do is ask her a question about that. You really don't need to be doing too much. For obvious reasons, most girls are scared of guys approaching them, so this eases the blow. Because you're not coming through with the AOB, followed with a compliment on what she looks like. You're better than that. The next one, I would probably marry a man if he did this to me. If it's a social setting where there's many people she doesn't know and she is just on her phone, scrolling away, that is your perfect time to go and save her. And the one time she's going to be the most open to a conversation. And if you do the groundwork and establish a conversation, the likelihood is she'll gravitate towards you the rest of the time you're there, because at that point, you are her comfort. I know you want to compliment how pretty she is. Don't do that. Fun fact, girls don't like to be seen as a piece of meat. So compliment her on her interests or something she's good at. It's a widely known concept that girls can actually be laughed into bed. So if you want to make her obsessed with you, sprinkle in a few one-liners. If you lack an inspiration, just have a look through my videos. Terry Tips, talk to me. Don't pussyfoot around getting a number. The more direct, the better. And if you find a way to do it that brings out her competitive side, chef's kiss. Examples are pinned.